Last time I tried to build a watch from scratch, let's just say it didn't go as I planned. I broke parts, I lost my patience, it took forever, and I swore that I would never ever do it again. But it's been a little while since then, the trauma has faded somewhat, and I've read a lot of your comments on my previous video telling me that I need to give it another shot because it's a lot easier the second time around. So I'm back, but this time I'm testing a theory. Was it hard because building a watch is just really hard to do anyway? Or was it hard because I was using cheap random parts from AliExpress? So to find out, I'm going to do a head-to-head build. On the left, I've got another watch, another set of parts from AliExpress that I'm going to use. But on the right, I've got an all-in-one DIY watch kit from Namoki Mods that claims to have everything you need to build a watch. Does having a premium kit like this make it easier? Does spending the extra money save you from having a mental breakdown? Or is it better to just go with cheap parts from AliExpress? We're going to build and we're going to find out. I'm not going to go through all the parts that I bought from AliExpress again. If you're interested in seeing all of these parts that you can buy, I'm going to put a link to my previous video that goes through the entire process of selecting things from AliExpress and buying all the parts that you need. I do have a new case though, and dial and hands from AliExpress that I'm going to be using for this build. And one other thing that I did buy this time that was one of the biggest problems I had last time was that I had a really hard time seeing what I was doing, and I needed to use like a child's magnifying glass. So this time I have brought this clip-on magnifiers for my glasses. This is perfect for people who wear glasses. So that's going to clip on like this, and hopefully this is going to help me see exactly what I'm doing whilst looking super cool in the process. So this is an all-in-one watchmaking kit from a company called Namoki, and they reached out to me, saw my last video, and they wanted to send me this kit to see how I got on building a watch with their watchmaking kit. And so they haven't sponsored this video, they've sent me this kit free of charge, but everything that I'm gonna say is completely my own opinion, and we're gonna test this to see how it stacks up with making something that comes all together. We're going to look at the different price between this and all of the DIY stuff and see if it makes a difference having everything come together. On Namoki's website, they have a whole bunch of different options, and you can go and choose a watch that you like, and it'll come with all the parts that you need to build that watch. So they've really made everything a lot easier for you. And it's nice also to know that everything's going to come from one place. One of the frustrations about using AliExpress is that everything comes separately and it all comes within its own timeline. So some things came within 2 days and other things came within like 10 to 15 days. So let's open this up and have a look what Namoki have given me in here. So this is a pouch that has all of the tools in it. So it's got an eye loop. Everyone in the comments was saying you need to get an eye loop. So the fact that they've included this in the tools is very, very helpful. Then there's a bunch of other watchmaking things in here. Again, I won't necessarily go through all of them because they're pretty similar to what I've already got here. It's got everything you need, and it's also got instructions. Previously, I was going on YouTube and looking at videos, trying to figure out what I was doing, stopping what I was doing, watching someone on YouTube, which is great, but it's nice to have these instructions here, step-by-step instructions to help you with the watch build. So that is also super helpful. So from what I can see, pretty much everything in here is what I had bought from AliExpress. Okay, let's have a look in this one here. Okay, this has what must be the case, and I can see one of these rubber gasket rings as well. I don't know what that is. Oh, these are the watch hands in here. They're so small I could barely even see them. The watch that I chose has a black leather strap, which looks really nice. So you can see here I've got the gold case, the watch face with the black straps, which I really like that combo. So I'm excited to get started on this and see how everything works out. I really like the way this has all come, and it's nicely kind of packaged and it's easy to understand what everything is. Okay, so just like my last build, this one started off pretty easily. Getting the dial onto the movement is fairly easy, although I did realize afterwards that because this particular watch doesn't have a date display, I could have done a destro build, which is where the crown goes on the left hand side rather than the right hand side, and because I wear my watch on my right wrist, a destro build would have been ideal, but I didn't really think about this until afterwards, so it is what it is. I built it normally. After getting that on, I started getting the hands on, and again using the tools that came, it was fairly easy. Getting the hour hand and the minute hand on. I used some Rodico and the tweezers to do this part, and as you can see, I'm also wearing the magnifiers on my glasses, which did help a lot. I realized last time I wasn't getting nearly enough of a good look to see how the hands were sitting on the stem, and so this time I was able to get a much better view using these magnifiers. It was much easier to see what I was doing. So as per last time, these two hands went on fairly easily, but when it came to the second hand, I started running into the same problem that I had last time, which was having a hard time figuring out whether I had got it on well enough, and then when it was on, because it wasn't moving, I wasn't sure if I'd got it on correctly or not. Every time I thought I had put it on, the second hand wasn't moving, and so I wasn't sure whether I'd installed it properly. The way that I decided that I knew it was working was I gave it a little nudge with my fingers and it started moving around. You can see here I'm just checking to make sure everything is sitting nicely and sitting correctly, as I've got all three of the hands on, and I wanted to make sure I had them straight and I had them even. So this is the tool that I found worked really well. Each one of those has a different size, and so you've got to make sure you're using the right size to push down each hand, because each hand has a slightly smaller diameter. After that, I went round to start to take the crown out. Again, this was something that I struggled with because I couldn't find the lever or the lever to remove the crown out, to remove the stem. And I realized afterwards that you actually have to pull out the stem first so that it's out as if you're going to be adjusting the time, and then the little lever is able to be pushed down. I've linked some videos in the description so that you can see how to do that. Adjusting the crown stem was fairly easy. I found using these pliers really helpful because they were able to both cut the stem, but also they're really helpful for holding the stem while you try and screw the crown back onto it, which can be a little bit of a fiddly process. But that was my top tip, is get some pliers when you're doing this part so you can both cut the stem and also reattach the crown. So once I had done all of that, the hardest part of the watch build was done, and I had successfully installed the dial, the hands, and the crown. So the only thing to do next was to put the back on. Here you can see I'm using this grease that doesn't come with the Namoki Kit, but is a very cheap thing to buy. You can get it from Amazon or you can get it from AliExpress. That just greases it up, and then you can slot the ring in around the rest of the back, which is really easy. And then the last part is to put on the back of the case. And again, this is really a really easy part. I like to use this yellow ball thing here, which I also got from AliExpress. This isn't a necessity, but it is something that's pretty helpful to taking it on and off, but you can live without it if you don't have one. So once I had that on and tightly secured, that was the end of the main part of the watch build. And the only thing left to do was to put on the straps. Here I needed to release these bars so that I could attach the straps. This part was fairly easy. I just used this tool, which doesn't come with the Namoki Kit, but again, I had this from my previous set of tools. Really easy to get them out. And then getting the straps in wasn't too hard, although it did take me a minute to realize that there was a latch on the back. I started trying to push it in manually from the sides, but as you can see on the back, there's a little notch that you can pull, and that helps you to insert them. It was a bit of a tight fit, but I managed to get those in nicely. And then once you have both of those in, the watch is pretty much done. So the final part is just to put the watch on and to tighten it and make sure it fits nicely, which is what I did. So there you go. The first of the two watches is done. Okay, so now on to the second build, and here are the parts and tools that I'll be using from AliExpress. I won't take too much time with this build since it's all the same process, but I'll just give some thoughts as to how it went using these tools this time and doing my third watch build. Starting off is easy, getting the face onto the movement is the easiest part of the build, and then it's onto the hands, and again making sure I'm using the right size tool to push the hands on so they're on correctly. Getting the hour hand and the minute hand on aren't too difficult, and so I was able to do that and line them up pretty easily, and then just double check to make sure that I've got them in the right position so that when I turn that they all line up on the hour. After that, I could see that the second hand was slightly bent, so I needed to do a little bit of surgery on it just to straighten it out. And then I decided that I needed a little bit more height so that I could see what I was doing better. So I moved everything up on top of this box just to get everything up to eye level to make it easier. Here I am trying to get the second hand on, and as you can see here, it actually flung out of the tweezers that I was using and dropped on the floor. And so I spent a good 5 minutes trying to find the second hand because it was so thin. Eventually I did find it, and it was at this point when I decided that I needed even more height. So I grabbed another book to put underneath the box just to really get the dial all the way up to eye level as close as possible. I have to say that third time around I was definitely feeling much more confident, and this was easily the quickest that I was able to get the second hand on, using all of the tips and tricks that I'd learned from the previous two builds. Getting the crown out and then sizing the stem correctly didn't take me too long this time, although I did run into a little bit of problem where I didn't take my own advice and use the pliers to hold the stem, and so I managed to drop the crown and it fell, believe it or not, into my shoe, which was fortunate, so it didn't take me very long to find it all. I was able to grab it out of my shoe, and then I decided to follow my own tip and to hold the stem while I attached the crown again, and then I was able to get it back on without any problems. Once the hard part of the build is over, the final steps are all pretty straightforward. You just really need to make sure that you get the back of the watch on correctly. I used my trusty yellow ball again. Once I'd done that, I was able to peel off the protective layer on the front of the watch, which was very satisfying. Then it was just a case of attaching the strap back to the case, and the build is done. All I need to do now is set the date and set the time, and the build is over. The watches are built, and I'm really happy with how they've both turned out, and I want to share some thoughts on the experience of building the second time round and also using a kit. Let's talk first about the whole buying process. When you buy your watch from AliExpress and the parts and the tools, you really have to kind of project manage the whole thing yourself. You have to choose the case and the dial and the movement, the hands, make sure everything's going to work together. You need to research the tools and make sure that you have everything you think you need. And it's really easy to make a mistake in this part of the process. And then you've got the shipping. Everything is kind of ordered separately and shipped separately, and so it can be a little bit hard to keep track of everything. So it's definitely more complicated. Whereas on the Namoki mod side, it's a completely different experience. You basically browse the website, you find a style of watch that you like, you click buy, you decide whether you're going to choose to just buy the parts only or to buy the tools as well. The box arrives a couple of weeks later with everything inside. I found that, to be honest, the build process itself is not much different. You're kind of going through the exact same process, using pretty much the same tools. So assuming that you've purchased all the correct tools from AliExpress, there really isn't going to be that much difference. Okay, so what about the price? How much of a difference is there in price? Well, the AliExpress build altogether is going to cost you, depending on what you choose, around $150 for all of the parts and all of the tools. The Namoki Mods kit, on the other hand, this was $296, basically $300, which includes shipping. So is this kit worth double the price of this? I would say it depends. If you're doing a watch build for the first time, I would say that it is worth it, because you get this kit, which you can use for future builds, you're gonna have everything that you need. It's all gonna arrive together, and you're not gonna get halfway through the build and realize you don't have something you need. I wish the first build that I did that I had this kit and I went with this. There's a couple of things I think that make it really useful. One is that they include this eye loop. If you watched my first watch build, then you'll know that I didn't have any magnification, and that was the hardest part of my build. So the fact that they include this eye loop is super helpful. I did like that Namoki included this little instruction manual. Thought that was a really nice touch. But if I'm honest, I didn't find them super helpful just because they weren't really detailed enough for the nuances of building a watch. I ended up just watching YouTube tutorials, which I found much more helpful. I've linked the videos that I used below in the description for anyone that's interested in doing their own build. There were a couple of things that didn't come as part of the Namoki mods kit that I think were missing. The main one being this movement holder, and the other one, the silicone grease. Now, both of these were available as optional extras to purchase from their website, but I think it would have been nice if they had kind of included these as part of the toolkit. If you're a first-time watch builder, you're probably not going to know all of the tools that you need, and so that's part of the reason for buying a kit, is for them to help you and know what you need. And so I think it was kind of frustrating not to have a movement holder, which I think is an essential kind of tool needed for the build. You will need your own pair of needle nose pliers just to cut the little feet off of the dial on the back, and then a pair of pliers that have wire cutting parts so that you can trim the crown stem. And obviously those don't come part of that toolkit, but these are kind of everyday tools that most people have in their house. If you are going to go with this glasses clip-on, magnification clip-on, I would suggest getting one of these as well. This is a strap that goes onto the back of your glasses, and it just holds your glasses onto your head. And the reason I suggest this is because these are quite heavy. Once you start bending down to look at things, they will slip off of your face and fall down. So I needed the strap, which attaches to the arms and just holds your glasses on to the back of your head while you're wearing those. So that would be my tip. After doing 3 watch builds now, I can definitely say that it has gotten easier, and I'm feeling much more confident now, especially in knowing what to expect when building a watch, which part of the process is going to be the most difficult. And I feel like I've just got a better understanding of what it takes and what tools are needed. I'm still not sure whether I find it super enjoyable, if I'm honest, and I think the enjoyment of it should be the primary reason to do a watch build. So I'm not saying that I'm never going to do another one, but for now I do feel pretty content with these watches that I've built, and having finished them, there is, a great deal of satisfaction when you wear them, knowing that you helped to build it. So there you have it. Those are some of the things to weigh up when you're considering doing a watch build. Thanks once again to Namoki for sending me this kit to check out. If you're planning your first watch build, then I would highly recommend using Namoki to source your parts and tools. If you're interested, I've included a link down in the description where you can check out Namoki, and if you decide to use them, let me know, leave a comment below and let me know how you got on. And if you've used another watchmaking kit, let me know how you got on with that, and I will catch you in the next one.